Hi guys, welcome back to Abby's Kitchen. Today I'll be showing you how to make a chocolate pie. In my last video, I pulled from a list of suggestions for recipes to cook, and I chose a chocolate pie from Single Dad Homesteading. Thank you, Chris, for your suggestion. The first thing you want to do is make your crust. So to make the crust, I'm going to add 1 1/4 cups of flour, a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and I'm going to mix that together in a bowl. The next step is to add 1/3 cup of shortening. Now for this step, you're just going to use your fingers and mix the shortening in with the flour. You want to make sure that the shortening is mixed very thoroughly in with the flour. You want to try to get rid of all the big clumps of shortening. This is what you want it to look like. It has almost like a pile of crumbs look to it. Once that step is finished, you're going to slowly add in a small amount of water at a time. And then you just mix it in. You're only adding enough water to achieve the right consistency. I have about 1/4 cup of water, and it'll probably take that much, maybe a little less. You may want to use your hands for this part. It makes it a little easier than using a fork. I used a little less than 1/4 cup of water, but I know it's done because I can roll the dough into a ball and roll it around into the bowl, and all the dough sticks to it. This is what you're looking for when you've completed the dough. I've put some flour on the countertop, and I've just spread it out a little bit, and I have my dough waiting to be rolled out for the pie crust. So you just want to make sure you have enough flour on the surface of your countertop to help the dough not stick. Sorry guys, my camera malfunctioned, so I didn't get any video of me rolling out the dough, but all I did was flour the table and rolled it out into a circular shape. And now I'm going to go ahead and check and see if this is big enough to fit my 9-inch pie pan. To make sure it doesn't tear, I'm getting Dad's help with this. The pie crust isn't quite big enough for the pie pan, so I'm going to take some of these bigger pieces and put it on the pieces that don't have enough, and I'm just going to kind of mold it into the pie crust with my fingers. You can stretch and work the dough a little bit, but be careful not to tear the dough while doing this. So just do it very gently. So you just want to take your finger and make sure that the dough is stuck to the pan and formed to the pan. And now also you can take these pieces that are bigger and kind of overlap them on the pan a little bit. Now you're just going to take your finger and you're going to do like this. I'm pretty sure this is called fluting, but I'm not exactly positive on this. So if you want to know for sure, you can look it up yourself. If I got the name of this wrong, feel free to correct me in the comments and let me know what it is. I've only made this pie crust a few times, so I'm still not quite perfected at it. But the purpose of this is just to dress up the edges a little bit. You're going to bake this pie crust in a 350-degree oven for about 5 minutes. While the pie crust is in the oven, I'm going to start on my pie filling. I'm going to mix my ingredients on the stove over medium heat. I have 2.5 cups of milk. Three large egg yolks. A 1/2 cup of sugar, a 1/4 cup of cornstarch, and 1/4 teaspoon of salt. I'm just gonna whisk all of these ingredients together. You're going to continue whisking this over medium heat until it starts to thicken up for 7 to 8 minutes. You want to make sure you don't bring this to a boil. You're just cooking it over medium heat. It's been about 7 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and add in my butter, which I have 4 tablespoons of butter and 8 ounces of semi-sweet chocolate. Now that it's mixed well, we're going to turn off the heat and move the filling to the pie crust. We're going to take the edges of the pie and we're just going to shake it a little bit to try to flatten it. It's not working all that well, so I'm going to use a spatula and just kind of smooth it out. Now we're going to put this in the fridge for 4 to 5 hours. Now that the pie is set in the fridge for 4 hours, I'm going to take a cup of heavy whipping cream and I'm going to whip it to make whipped cream. You want to whip the whipped cream until it's able to make small peaks. Now that you whipped your whipped cream, you're going to go ahead and pour it on top of the chocolate pie. You can use the spatula to spread the whipped cream around if needed. If you do use a spatula, you want to be careful when spreading around the whipped cream that you don't mess up the chocolate. I went ahead and grated some almond bark and put it on top of the pie to make it prettier and have a more chocolate taste. Thanks again to Single Dad Homesteading for recommending this recipe. You can find a link to thebroussardhomestead.com in the description. That's where we'll be posting this recipe. If you like this video and you want to see more, be sure to like and subscribe.